Hey guys, Rhinator41 here, and today I am back with another Minecraft Steven Universe video. Now, it's not a building tutorial for once, that's new. But yeah, so, as you can tell by the title, today's video is going to just be a showcase of the world, which I've done, I think, twice now, but, you know, they're kind of outdated, so might as well. I saw someone requested for me to show off all my statues, so I'll just go ahead and go through the whole world. But yeah, now that I officially have a stack of statues, 64 statues that I've built over here. There's more on the way, but, the ones that I've done tutorials on, there's a stack of them. But yeah, so I guess let's just go ahead and start off on the statues. The way I've built them on here is not the order that I made the tutorials, but, we got Baby Melon, of course. I think that's the reason I put him in the front, was so Baby Melon could be off to the side. But Watermelon Stevens over here. Then we got Bismuth. Now people have asked me where this statue, because this statue tutorial was not on its own. It was part of my top 10 episodes with tutorials video, because Bismuth was in the top 10. We got my 3 Larses, the regular Lars, and then Pink Lars, and then Lars of the Stars. We got Sadie, of course, right next to Lars. Mystery Girl. Change Your Mind, Lapis, and Peridot. You can tell I kind of made this extra row. I guess that's a column. I made this extra column for after, because the Change Your Mind stuff's kind of later. Anyway, next up we got Connie, and then Stevani, of course. Opal over here, which was the first statue I ever made that had 4 arms, so I was trying to figure something out. But yeah, I mean, clearly I kept using that for some of the other ones, like Sardonyx and what's it called? Oh, what's in it? Sunstone. Thank you. Jeez. Yeah, then we got Padparacha, Sapphire, and Ruby, and then Garnet, of course. Figured I don't know. I was thinking about swapping Garnet and Ruby just so it's like Sapphire and Garnet then Ruby, but that might be, who knows. Then we got small Peridot statue, and Lapis. The original, that was the second statue I ever made. The first one was that Peridot back there. Ignore that voice crack. Then we have Steven, which took me way too long to actually make a Steven statue, but don't worry about that. Yeah. There's Pearl, which was the third one I ever made. And Amethyst, which also took me way too long to make, because I couldn't get a good purple color, so I just had to use these purple blocks, which I wasn't super keen of, but now I don't really mind it. It looks pretty good. Then Rose Quartz, of course. Then Past Pearl from several episodes, I guess, namely A Single Pale Rose, and then also the movie. Then we got Pink Diamond Stevani from Together Alone. That was the episode. Okay. White Diamond. Then we got all the diamonds here. Pink as well. Blue and yellow together over here. Those two I built together. They were actually some of the first statues I made. Then we got the yellow Zircon, which came after the blue Zircon, which was also part of my top 10. Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot to mention Mystery Girl was part of that top 10 as well. Was Stevani? I think Stevani might have been too. The original Stevani, not the Pink Diamond one, but yeah, Mystery Girl and then Stevani were both in the top 10 video, and Blue Zircon was supposed to be, but the video got messed up somehow, so I just made a separate tutorial on it, which I think I linked to in that video. But anyway, we got Jasper, which, yeah, she had her own video, and Peridot, of course, was the first statue I ever made, per someone's request. I don't remember who. Let's see, Peridot from the wedding. Well, we're gonna get into all the wedding ones now. Wedding Sapphire, which I really like the suit, and then Wedding Ruby, Wedding Garnet, which this one took me a while to make because that thing, I did not know how to make that thing look good, but somehow I managed. We got Wedding Bismuth in her armor, Wedding Amethyst, Wedding Pearl, which was just the generic suit, but oh, that's what she was wearing. The Diamond Mech, which that one was at least pretty easy because it was pretty much just White Diamond's head and then generic body. We got Rainbow 2.0, I really like the eyes. I really like the eyes on this one. And the hair, too. Yeah. Oh, here's the forearms I was talking about. Sardonyx. So, yeah, I like the bow tie. I like when the bow tie has, like, a different color. Like, Sardonyx's orange one pops out really well. And then, like, Finale Steven has the blue one, which looks really good. Then we got the mind-controlled blue and yellow, which were relatively recent, I think. They were within the past month, at least. Pink Steven, the original Pink Steven from Change Your Mind. Well, that was an easy build, at least. It was just a palette swap of regular Steven. And then we got Pink Diamond Steven, which, again, was just like the build for Pink. And then add Steven's head and skin tone. We got Connie from The Wedding, which, you know, kind of just a palette swap of Peridot from The Wedding, plus Connie's head, which I did have to make a different hairstyle for, but yeah. So, you know, Wedding Steven. It's the same suit as Pearl, but then we added the flower that he's got. And then we got all, these are probably the most recent statues. We got mind-controlled volleyball, regular volleyball, and then mind-controlled Pearl and regular Pearl from Change Your Mind, of course, and then same with Amethyst, mind-controlled, and then the Change Your Mind version. Mind-controlled Garnet, and then the Change Your Mind Garnet. This is actually the first one that I made that had all three eyes, and I even made sure to use different blocks for it. But yeah, I also really like the visor, just in the design in general, not just my statue. Sunstone, I really, really like this one, because, so the way I made it, so actually, it's derivative of White Diamond's head, which in itself is derivative of Peridot's head. So what I did, I took Peridot's, and then I used that to make White Diamond, which when I say that, you could probably see it better if you didn't already. I tweaked it, obviously, so I had to add those 2 extra ones, and then I had to make it like pointier. And then from that, I built this on Sunstone, and then I curved it, which, I mean, obviously, this one was tweaked a lot, but the base design was White Diamond's head, which I think this looks really good. I'm really happy with how Sunstone came out. And Cotton Candy Garnet, which is, I think, the actual single most recent statue I've made. That one I also really like how it came out. The color scheme looks really good. We got both Spinels look really nice. All the more recent ones I'm like more proud of. Like especially Finale Steven, the hat I mentioned. I'm very happy with how this came out because it took so long. But now that I have that build, if I ever need to make another hat, there we go. I have it. Which again, it was similar to the suits that they were wearing in the other ones, but it's different. And I had to figure out what colors to use for the legs because I couldn't just use the same pink. And then of course Pink State Steven was just a slightly different version of Future Steven, which in itself is a slightly different version of the movie Steven. But yeah, well that's all the statues. I'll go ahead and go through some of these other builds too. Destiny Destroyer, I like this one. Took forever though, because trying to place all these blocks off of each other is such a pain. Like holy crap, if you built this, you know what I'm talking about. It's so annoying. But yeah, the Rejuvenator I really like. Took a while for me to figure out how to try and get that purple hue on the side, but I think it came out pretty well. The purple on its own was a bit too much. Sun Incinerator, I built this based off of this is when that leak came out for Lars of the Stars, which is also when I built Lars of the Stars as a statue. So this was based off of like leaked stuff, and it came out pretty well considering what it actually looks like in the show. Star Skipper was not leaked, but you know, I built that once the episode came out. The Mr. Universe shirt, this one was also in the top 10 video. Yeah, the Injector, I'm sure a bunch of you have seen. This one was really popular. I'm a big fan of how it came out, because it took me a while to do it, but I think it looks good. I actually built it before the movie had even come out because they released a trailer for it, and I just based it off of the trailer. But yeah, let's see, we got the Galaxy Warp. I was really hesitant to do because I thought it was going to have to be huge, but no, it's not terribly big. It actually worked out pretty well too with the color scheme and all that. And I can actually warp to different builds that I have, such as Oh, this one. The Rose's Healing Fountain redo, which is, obviously, it's a redo of this one over here. Rose's Healing Fountain. This was like the 4th build I ever did. This was the first Centipedal gem, but yeah. This was the 4th build I ever did, so I went back later and decided to make a bigger and better version of it that just fully included the other one. Like, you see it's in there, but then I just made the bigger one based on the one from Change Your Mind specifically. I guess next I'll look at these. We got the pixel arts, so the first one I did was Steven, of course, which I think that one looks really good. I like the Steven one. And then I moved on to Pearl, which, not gonna lie, I'm not a huge fan of this one now that I'm looking at it. The other ones look pretty good, like the Garnet one, yeah, I like that. Or Amethyst, I really like that one. The Cookie Cat even, like, yeah, that one looks nice. And there's another one I did. I'm not sure why I did it. Oh wait, no, I do know why I did it. Because I built the Garnet one, and then I turned on the side like this, and I realized that it looked very familiar. So then I made this, which was the big donut logo. And yeah, so if you look at it sideways like this, and then imagine there's a rectangle around it for Garnet's hair, that's just Garnet's face. Which I was like, okay, that's interesting. I don't know if that was intentional, but there you go. Next up, sure, looks like we got the Cookie Cat wrapper. I like this one a lot. I want to say, I think I built it along with the Cookie Cat directly. So, like, you know, we got the Cookie Cat and the Cookie Cat wrapper, which are similar, except for you'll notice this has 4 blocks in the middle, and this one over here has 3 blocks in the middle, and the reason for that is because I needed a straight line down the middle to divide it so that it could be white and pink, whereas over here, I needed them to directly, like, just be half and half of pink and white with no line in the middle. And then if you look up here, I used the 3 block, like, it's the same symbol, and then I used that same design to make this for on the freezer. And then this pixel art's just different. Like, it doesn't really follow either of them just because I was looking at a picture of Cookie Cat directly. But yeah, ooh, this one I really like, the Together Breakfast. Took me a while to get the whipped cream right, but I'm a fan of how it looks. And the plate didn't take very long, but, like, you know, I just built, for the waffles, I just built a circle, and then I offset it by 1, and then I, like, would just kind of shift the direction so it looked like it's stacked unevenly. Yeah, so we got, I don't know, like, I know it's Pink Diamond Rose Quartz Gem, but I don't know if I built this around the time a Single Pale Rose came out, maybe. But, yeah, I kind of like how it looks. Looks nice. Oh, this one, the Shattering Robonoid from the Wanted special, which was the beginning of Season 5, if you didn't watch it when it came out on TV. They released, I don't know if it was a trailer or if it was a leak, but, like, we had seen pictures of the Shattering Robonoids, and we had seen that they were going to be, like, important. So I was like, okay, and I built it. Because cones, I feel like I can do decently well, especially with, like, the gem drill. Which, speaking of which, the gem drill, this was one of the earliest builds I ever did. This was around the time I started doing tutorials, and the episode had just come out, so I was like, oh, this will be good, and it got it was one of the highest viewed videos at the time. But yeah, so that was a good one. I think that was number 5. Let's see, Bismuth's Forge, surprisingly, is, well, I mean, obviously it's not supposed to be looked at from the outside. It's more built so that when you look at it on the inside, I wish my Switch didn't lag so much so that you could actually see how that's supposed to look, but yeah, obviously it was built to look good from the inside. There we go. Anyway, what was this? I was saying something. Oh, I thought this build was later, but it was number 8, I think. I don't know, it was really early. It was 8 parts, I know that much. But yeah, I spent quite a while on this one. And of course, when I built it on my Xbox, I didn't have access to commands. Why is the light doing this? didn't have access to commands, so when I was like, okay, dig out this giant hole, I couldn't just set block to air. I had to manually dig it out, which if you've done this, you'll know that's a huge pain. Like, this hole is massive. So what I remember doing, because it was all dirt on my Xbox. Why? It was all dirt on my Xbox too, so what I did was go in creative and get a diamond shovel with efficiency 5, and then just dig really fast in survival, but like flying around. I don't know. It was really weird. I'm glad I have access to commands. It is so much more convenient. Anyway, Pink's Palanquin. I'm a big fan of this one too, which I know I saw someone made a video about different palanquins that were like heavily based off of my designs, which I forget whose it was, but I liked it. It was pretty good. Where they did a video on Pink's Palanquin, which I saw when I was making the playlist of all my builds, where they had one for pink and blue, and they built what they imagined yellows and whites to look like, which, yeah, I thought it was good. I thought it was nice. Ooh, next up, what's it called? Sea Shrine, I think? Let me hop into it. It is this warp pad. If I can hit the button, that'd be nice. There we go. Yeah, this one I built, like, I originally built it in creative. I think I built it on its own world, underwater. And then I did a when I did the tutorial for it, I started off in that version that was underwater, and now it's built like above water, and I was gonna fill something with water and then like do that, which, you know what, I might do that. I don't know. I might just like copy this and move it down a bunch and then fill the rest with water. That would be interesting. But yeah, all these hourglasses took a while too. Like, they're all individually different from each other. Like, there's nothing repeated except for like that one with that one. But other than that, we got like this one and the janky one that Amethyst wanted to pick up, and the big one that Pearl wanted, and the bigger one that Garnet wanted, and then the tiny one. That button doesn't do anything. But yeah, let's hop back here. Oh, there's still one warp pad open, which I guess I'll probably use at some point. Oh, sure, this will be a good time to show off the Crystal Temple. I'm sure most of you have seen this. This was one of the most requested things because it was just so huge, and obviously it's a staple of the show itself. And there's two of them because that one's for future, which we'll go through in a second. But yeah, the hill was definitely the biggest pain in the butt, which is weird because you'd think the statue would be, but the statue is really fun to make. But like, once I was there, it was like, holy crap, this thing's massive. Oh, I just heard a dog barking outside. I thought it was in-game for a second. Anyway, let's just go ahead and hop in here. Yeah, also, actually, before we do that, I do want to mention, where is it? It's back here. This right here, I put a lot of effort into, like, blending the environment, and wow, I forgot I even did that. That looks much better than I thought it did. When I came back to it, I was like, holy crap. That I remember it taking forever, but it looked really good, so it was worth it. Oh, I might need to update that. Anyway, let's keep looking. This is before colored beds were a thing, but I'm still going to leave it as a memento to it. Because obviously in the updated one I did that, but so if you were going back and building it, instead of placing quartz slabs, you could just put a white bed. There's a couple other things like that too. But also the lighting in here, like this, it's a lamp that provides light, but not from the lamp part, it's from the pole, which I really like. And then of course we got hello, this is a bathroom. Iconic. This warp pad takes you up to the hand, as you'd expect. I originally used cobwebs here, but now they don't work to hold banners, which is upsetting, but it's okay. We're gonna come through here, boop, obviously, the inside. This is a big deal. This took me forever. Like, I built the room, and then the bubbles, I was trying to figure out how to get them up there, and then I was trying to figure out how to get the redstone up on the wall. It was a whole thing. This one didn't take too long. You just kind of put clouds everywhere. Put some glowstone under the carpet. The crystal heart. Let me go ahead and give myself some night vision. Where is it? There it is. There we go. This one. I like that. I like how that looks. I know there's supposed to be something going that way, but we don't know what's over there, so I didn't bother building it. I just kind of... Most of the stuff... Because we didn't really see the interior that much. Only really in the episode Together Breakfast. And there's a couple other things too, like Sardonyx's room that we saw, but that only exists while Sardonyx exists. So I didn't feel like it was a necessary addition. But also, that does... I do have one question about that though, right? Because I'm assuming the burning room's Garnet's room. So, like, I can't remember if they explicitly say that or if I just assumed it, but if the burning room is Garnet's room, then when Ruby and Sapphire split up, do all the bubbles disappear? Like, what? I don't know. The world may never know. I also could be wrong about the burning room being Garnet's room, but who knows? Anyway, got this, which is built to be parkourable because of Steven running through and, like, jumping in the episode Together Breakfast. But yeah, so we're gonna go through here. I had to... So I was trying to recreate when Steven and Amethyst run through and the tunnel kind of flips upside down. So I just kind of turned it around instead of doing that because I figured you're not going to be able to walk on the ceiling, so why bother? This one took a while to fill in, but I think it looks nice. Amethyst's room. And I even put the little puddle that you can fall through into Garnet's room. And then a waterfall going upwards into Pearl's room. Which, again, big fan. Big fan. Let me go ahead and swim down here. Okay, and then I always do this on all 3 versions that I have. It's open down here, so you can just go and get a really weird view of the inside of the Crystal Temple, which you can actually see 2 of the rooms, mostly Pearl's room and this room I had to make smaller so that they wouldn't go outside of it. But yeah. So let's go down here, and up, and out. Okay. You know what? While we've got night vision, well, actually, here, I'll show off the differences between this Crystal Temple. We got our next one over here, which actually, in the tutorial, if you did it, I put the flags wrong. Earth is supposed to be above Homeworld. It's not a big deal, but, you know, it's there, so I wanted to mention it while we're here. Something you'll notice... Oh, this was another difference. The umbrella, I built it out of sponge when I was over here because, again, colored beds didn't exist. But then now we have yellow beds, so I wanted to make it look better. But I'm not going to retroactively change anything. Yeah, same thing with the lighting right there. I'm sure you probably noticed that when you were building it, if you built it, that is. Something... So, I saw, actually, someone posted on Instagram, and they were like, oh, look, Steven has a table now, like they hadn't noticed it. The only reason I noticed it was because I had to build it. So I looked in, and when I saw it, I was like, oh, wow, he's got a table now, that's interesting. Wait. There we go. Always gotta do it. Rose quartz right there. I really like the loom looks like an empty bookshelf. Like, that's nice. Fletching table still doesn't do anything at the moment. Okay. Bismuth anvil. The new Star Battlers is what that's supposed to be. And then, of course, up here, the Galaxy Warp. This is as close to pink as I could get. So it's supposed to be like the pink diamond handprint thing. I was kind of upset that I couldn't make this full size, but also I was already intruding on the temple. I'll be honest, I was really concerned that it was not going to look good when it was going into the temple, but you can't really tell, to be honest. Also, a little something so that I could save on the Galaxy Warp, because both of the center buttons are linked to the Galaxy Warp. This one, and then this one over here. Oh, no, where is it? Is it this one? Or is it this one? There it is. Yeah, you see, so this one's linked to one crystal temple, and then this one's linked to the other. And the reason these each have their own internal buttons that are like linked together, so you can go throughout this one crystal temple, but instead of like, you know, going through, it's just to save, because otherwise we would have used more than the amount of warps we have on the Galaxy Warp right now. I'm just kind of rambling at the moment, sorry. Let's see, next up, the Desert Glass from the episode Steven's Lion. I like that one. Not really much to say about it. We got the Big Donut. Colorful beds, again, with the umbrella. I really like this design. It was actually shown to me by my friend Montana, who, if you're a longtime viewer of the channel, you'll know he was in a lot of my videos back in the day. But, yeah. So we got the Big Donut. The inside, the Endstone bricks. I'm a big fan. These things look great. Throw that back there. Got the Cookie Cat freezer, of course. The table. This Lion Liquors freezer. I was trying to make it look like there was donuts back there with the item frames. I think it did a pretty good job. We got paintings and stuff, and then, you know, if you ever want to watch donuts at the Big Donut, they make the world go round. A treat when you are down. Oh, pumpkin dog. Yes, just pumpkin, but yeah, she. I think it was she. I don't know. I'm still upset that she wasn't in the future. Like, they're really just gonna be like, oh yeah, Pumpkin died off screen. That's so sad. Like, I know there was another pumpkin and some other gourds that showed up at the end of the last episode, but like, jeez. Yeah, watermelon dog. I love watermelon dog. Connie's sword. That one looks nice. We got the star kind of upside down. Now, I know the star designs don't really look super great, but you know what? Small stars are very difficult to make, so I'll take what I can get. I like how that looks. 2 pebbles. I built them right after Familiar came out, which, if you remember, was December of 2018, and I just did the tutorials. Because Familiar came out, I built the pebbles. I was like, I'll just put it off, I'll do the tutorials later. And then Change Your Mind came out, not like, what, 3 weeks later? And so I had put off the pebbles, and then when Change Your Mind came out, I had like 3 new core crystal gems to make. Pink Steven, the mind controlled versions of blue and blue and yellow diamond, and then all the mind controlled versions of the new crystal gems, and then Rainbow 2.0, and oh my lord, and Sunstone. There were just so much stuff I had to make after that. And then, of course, I still had wedding builds to do from Reunite. Like, whenever big episodes came out, there would be like this huge amount of stuff that I had to do, and then I would get super backed up, and then I would get to the next episode, finally be caught up, and then not be able to do it. It was a whole thing. But anyway, that's the point of this quarantine. I'm finally catching up. I'm finally caught up, and now I can work on the stuff moving forward instead of stuff looking backwards. Anyway, enough rambling. Sorry, this video is going to be long enough as is. We got Steven's ukulele, which I actually tried to build like years ago. I was gonna try and do this as one of my early builds, but I wasn't quite skilled enough in like making curves. Like, the first build I ever did, if you notice, was Centipedal's bubbled gem, which was just 2 circles, or spheres rather. I had a sphere builder, which is actually the app I use to make my blueprints. It's called MC Constructor. I think it's for iOS, and I don't even think it's on the App Store anymore. I actually don't know. I could check. But point being, it built spheres for me automatically, so I just did that and then made it look like Centipedal, because what I was going to do is make this bubble and then try and make the cluster by just putting like a bunch of random blocks in there, but it did not look very good. Like, I finished it and it just looked like crap. And I could not figure out a way to make it look good. So I settled on Centipedal, and then I did it, and someone said, can you make a tutorial? And I was like, yeah, sure, seems easy enough, so I did it. And then I did the mirror after that, and then here we are in the future, and it's bright, right? But yeah, yeah, so Steven's ukulele, I have a story with that, I'll explain it in a second, but Lapis's mirror was the second thing, because when I thought, what can I make from Steven Universe, this was, because I built the Centipedal Gem, I wasn't seeking to make something, so the first thing I thought of when I thought, what can I make, was this, which I think looks really nice. Especially the packed ice looks better, even better with the new texture. But anyway, so with the ukulele, my sister actually had a ukulele that she painted to look like Steven's ukulele, which is what inspired me to make this build. And then, so now whenever there's a convention like Dragon Con we went to, I dressed up as Steven, and I was carrying around the ukulele, because, I mean, it's broken. One of the tuners popped off, but that's not really important. Anyway, I don't know how to play, I just carried it around because it looked cool. It fit the costume, it's a good prop. But yeah, next up we got our gem destabilizers, this one. So I built this like a while ago, obviously, when I did the initial tutorial. And then I wanted to do the next one as soon as Stuck Together came out, but we didn't have stairs for this color block, so it would have looked weird. But as soon as the stairs came out, I built it, and I never made a tutorial because it was so simple. I was like, that'll be 5 minutes, and it was, but, you know, that happens sometimes. Next we got these 3 gems, which were all together in one video. I built these immediately after. So these were actually the third build that I made, but I didn't do a tutorial on them for a while. Like, I didn't really plan to, but then I was like, you know what, screw it. It's easy. The time thing, again, you can see I used the sphere builder for it. That's why you'll notice there's a lot of spheres and domes and stuff. See, circles I can just freehand, and spheres, now I can freehand them, but back in the day I could not. So I used like this, and then would just build. Or like, for example, this over here. That's a sphere. It's just a very small one. Or if you come over here and look at the red eye, this was my third build. It was just a sphere with a thing on the front. And, you know, the roaming eye, also just a sphere with this thing on top. And then, I actually really like how the glass looks with the glowstone behind it, but, you know, obviously I tweaked a lot of it, but at a certain point I started making not quite spheres, but more like elongated spheres, like the watermelon dog. You'll see it's like, it's round, and it is symmetrical, but it's not a sphere. Like, I did not have a build for that. I freehanded that, and I freehanded the earth beetle, or not the earth beetle, the heaven beetle, which, you know, I may or may not have a build for the earth beetle in the works. You know, you might have noticed that, but yeah, you'll see the heaven beetle, I freehanded that shape too, which was kind of like, it was annoying to do, but I thought it looked really good, so I don't regret doing it at all. Let's see, there's something else. Oh, that's right, you have the blocks for this actually when the new textures came out, because I originally used, I think, yellow wool and then sponges, and then when they changed it, I was like, well, this doesn't work, so now I use yellow concrete and yellow concrete powder, because it needs to be like darker yellow and then lighter yellow coming out like that. So if you built it and you don't think the colors look good, this is what I recommend. Your yellow concrete powder. You just have to remember to place, I used to use string. Barriers are so much better. Just like, string is such a hassle to try and build with. If you haven't tried, oh man, it's very, very annoying. Oh, excuse me, sorry, I keep hiccuping. Let's see. Oh, we got the classic injector. This was like one of my early builds too. The inside was like weird and annoying, but I think it looks good. Also, it took me a long time to realize that this is just a virus, because, you know, I was a kid when the show came out, so I didn't know what a virus looked like, but then I saw a virus and was like, oh, that's an injector. But yeah, let's see, there was more stuff to talk about. Oh, that's right, giant whaling stone. Boom, there we go. It's in the Great North, apparently, which is what Canada is called in that alternate version of Earth. I really just want to know more about the lore of that version of Earth. Like, you know, we've got a lot of lore about gems and stuff. I want to know lore about Earth in that universe, because like Russia's just destroyed. But anyway, that's not really the point. We got giant whaling stone. I was gonna try and make a regular whaling stone. I might go back to it, but I could not figure it out. So what I might do, yeah, I could do that. Who knows? I'll put it on the list. I'll put it on the list. Ooh, aquamarine ship. I really like how this one looks, because like I said, I had to learn how to make the curves. So this one, it's got a lot of like smooth curves on it. I think it looks really nice. And it's one of the few builds that uses diamond blocks, which is not something I thought about, but when I was going through for some of my builds, like I was placing the blocks down for the gem destabilizer, and I was like, okay, so I don't have prismarine brick stairs anywhere in the world, but do I have diamond blocks? And that one has it, and I believe the Crystal Temple has some, and I think that might be it. But yeah, anyway, this one looks good. Tried to make it look like space up here with the obsidian, which I think turned out pretty good. Let's see what else we got. Oh, swords. I like the swords. Yeah, so someone asked me about this one too. Rose's sword with the scabbard is in my top 10 builds video. So we got that one, and I think Pearl's sword is too, actually. Are these both? Yeah, I think they both are in the top 10 video. I can just go check my signs in a minute. I'll do that later. I think that's most of the builds. Of course, we got Greg's car wash over here. This is my most recent tutorial to date right now. This is the one I just built literally right before I started this video. I finished this one. So yeah, so for certain builds I have to go through and like watch parts of episodes so I can get a reference, and this one, the only time we see the inside of Greg's car wash is in the episode Cat Fingers, when Steven's going through it, so I had to rewatch that clip several times, and it's not technically accurate because like it's empty in here for some reason, and then all the stuff is crammed in here, but I figured it would look better if I spread it out, where it's like, you know, the flaps that you go through, and then the spray and the rollers and this roller, and then the spray right here. But yeah, I like how that one turned out, and I'm thinking about maybe trying to piece together Beach City, but it's such a big project, and I'm not going to commit to that, you know, because that's so much. Anyway, let's go ahead and head in here. Now, you might notice, if you've seen this world enough, you'll know that moon base is supposed to be right there. So what I did when I decided to make the Earth Beetle, which I haven't done a tutorial on, but I do have the blueprint, so it's coming sometime soon. I just don't have enough time today. I had to move that, so I cloned it and just tried to put it right in between the two shadows so that it's not actually being covered up by the shadows of those two, which I'll get into those in a moment. But first I want to go in here. Now this took me a while, and so actually what I did, because I looked at a video, or no, it wasn't a video, it was a picture of like someone looking down from the top here, and you could like see all the diamond murals, but for some reason the diamond insignia was not accurate. It was like white, yellow, pink, and blue or something like that, and I don't know if they had photoshopped it wrong or if that's just how they showed it in one of the older episodes. But yeah, these are basically early concepts for the diamonds, because the only one that we had seen at the time was yellow. So we got yellow diamond, obviously looks like herself, but then blue diamond has black hair, which is, we know is not accurate, but I saw someone made a theory a while back before we had seen like flashbacks that blue diamond's hair was black, and that from the grief or like the stress it had gone lighter, which I liked, but I didn't really think was a thing. Like I thought it was more of a good headcanon than an actual solid theory. But then now we've seen flashbacks in like the movie when Pink got her first colony. Obviously Pink was around, Blue's hair was still white, or like in Now We're Only Falling Apart, but etc. etc. Anyway, as we can see here, there's Pink Diamond, which, looking back, like obviously you can't really tell in this, but in the mural, her hair is kind of spiked, and it has 5 spikes, which could be more foreshadowing for Rose Quartz being Pink Diamond, because obviously, like, she's got the 5 spikes. Rose Quartz always had the star insignia, and Steven always has 5 little bumps in his hair. And as we saw with how Pink Diamond actually came out, if you look closely enough, her hair also makes 5 distinct bumps, which is more hints towards the star and stuff like that. But yeah, anyway, and then White Diamond, which there were not many white themed blocks that I could use, so I just had to use more of these. See, now, was this before concrete? No, this wasn't before concrete. I don't know. Oh, you know what? I think I used wool. Yeah, this must have been before concrete came out. But yeah, if concrete was out, I would have done this differently. Would have done like light gray concrete, probably white for this. Honestly, I could just go back through and fix that later. But yeah, I do like the stairs. The stairs look really nice, especially if you're like right up here at the top and just spinning around. That looks cool. Let's go ahead, and I have a teleporter set up. This dome, obviously, see, for bigger ones like this, I don't bother using, like, I could freehand it probably, but it's easier to just use a sphere builder, so I just did. Some of it, though, I realized sphere builders still use overlap, which, so you notice whenever I do builds, I try to keep as little overlap as possible. If you're not going to see it, you don't need it. But, like, sphere builders have a lot of it, and I don't really know why, because it's unnecessary blocks. But anyway, this, I feel like, really like how this looks. Obviously, we got the little screen here, we got the little throne kind of thing, which, another little thing, if you didn't know, there is more foreshadowing about Rose being Pink Diamond when Steven sits and Steven's walking up the stairs, and Peridot says we're literally walking in the footsteps of the diamonds. And then also, he's the one that activates the throne. But anyway, you know, we got this little thing, which when I built this, we didn't know what it was, because Can't Go Back / or no, Can't Go Back is the episode title with Lapis, where we find out what it does. But yeah, that had not come out yet. I built this sometime after the first Moonbase episode came out. What's it called? It Could Have Been Great. So yeah, anyway, there are just a couple more things now. Those being the Ancient Sky Arena, which was my first huge project, which, you know, Bismuth's Forge was my biggest at the time. Or I guess, I don't know, the injector was big, but it was more of like a just literal size was why it was so long. But this one is mainly because it is like complicated. So like obviously we got the pillars. These are supposed to be higher, but I built it too close to max world height. So like right here was where max world height was on my other world. Right? Yep, you can see I went as high as I could, but that was it. That was max world height. Which I still think I made it work pretty well, considering I was really crunched, because this was also before, like I said before, I had access to commands, so I couldn't just move it down. Like, that was it. So that's the build. I tried to build parkour into the parts where it was applicable. Is this a possible jump? I think it is. Oh man, I could have made it. Oh well. But yeah, we got that. I think if you come up here, you can like jump down there and then parkour your way up onto this thing, which it was fully intentional, because I love parkour, if you didn't know. Especially back then, I was a huge parkour guy. But I really like how the chiseled quartz looks now, the new texture, especially with this, because it's like subtle, but you can still see there is a little outline for it. And same over here, like the statues are made of chiseled quartz, and the rest is made of like pillar. So if you come over here, then it's like this giant chunk that knocked down one of the statues, where this statue chunk's made of chiseled quartz, and then this is regular and this is pillar. I tried to put as much attention to detail into it as I could. And like the main picture we had was from right here. And there was stuff going down, but I didn't feel like it was necessary. I thought it would just make it more complicated. So I just made it, you know, flat. Which I think looks still pretty good. Yeah, this over here looks really nice too. One of the first things I did, because obviously I had to go through and rebuild all of these on my Switch, is I connected these with barriers because I didn't have access to barriers before. But then, you know, if I were in survival, I could just pull an Indiana Jones and walk on air. But yeah, this is my first build to include the entirety of another build. Because what I did was I built Blue's Palanquin, and then the next thing I did was build this with Blue's Palanquin in it. Which, this was from, the reference I used was from the episode The Answer, when we only had one shot of it, and it was from the side. So I just had to assume what it looked like, but now, after having seen the episode, now we're only falling apart, which came out way after. Now we know that it was actually a circle, not just a rectangle, so I was thinking about going back and fixing it, but I don't feel like it's that important, and it would just take up a crap ton of time. Because, like, making these pillars was such a pain. Like, it was not, and it's not even, like, a requested build. Like, nobody really... Oh, that was interesting. It wasn't, like, that requested of a build, so I don't feel like it's necessary to redo it. But, yeah, I think that's everything. Yeah, I'll go ahead and hop down here, look at these signs. But... yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it was kind of different from what we're used to on this channel, but yeah. Like I said, if there's any builds that you haven't seen a tutorial on, that you've like looked for a tutorial and it's not there, here, I can actually tell you specifically which ones. Let's see. Oh, I didn't talk about the breaking point, but oh well. Where is it? Blue, shadow, okay, here we go. So, Bismuth statue, Rose's sword with scabbard. Oh, the small statue of Peridot. Huh. The Stevani statue, Blue Zircon, the Mr. Greg card, Mystery Girl statue, Pearl sword, and then the Watermelon dog and the Mr. Universe shirt are all in the top 10 video. So if you want to check those out, it's called Top 10 Steven Universe Episodes with Builds. It's in my tutorials playlist. But yeah, oh yeah, there's the Mr. Greg card. I really like that one too, because I had to like write. It was like handwriting, so I wrote it with the blue terracotta, and I feel like it came out pretty well. Like, you can definitely tell what it says. Yeah, there was something else. So yeah, if you're looking for either of these swords, the Watermelon dog, the card, or Bismuth, Mystery Girl, Stevani, the small statue of Peridot, the Blue Zircon, which is now has her own video, but then there was another one. What was it? Oh, and the Mystery Universe shirt. But yeah, so anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like I said, I know it's different from usual, but yeah, so don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. If you want to go check out the playlist, there should be a link in the description. And yeah, I will see you guys later.